My name is Masami Hirose. I'm a 27-year-old housewife. I'd like to tell you about an incident that was caused by some trouble I had with my neighbors. I'm living with my husband, Mitsuru, who is 3 years older than me. We don't have any children yet, but I'm thinking it would be good to start trying soon. However, my husband lives for his hobbies, and whenever he has time, he always goes down to the sea or the river to go fishing. Sometimes I wish he would spend some time at home, but it's not like we have children to take care of, and he seems to be having a lot of fun, so I've decided to let him be. About a year ago, we bought a detached house in a relatively new residential area.
It's this big, we won't have to move, even if we have a lot of kids.
We're not pregnant yet, but I'm happy we can live in a lovely place like this. We're living here together as a happy married couple. The residential area seems to be pretty close-knit, so all the neighbors know each other and have a strong bond. It's quite rare nowadays, but everyone helps each other out when it comes to raising kids and dealing with problems. It looks like the housewives hold lunches at each other's houses regularly. If there's an event, like Christmas or Halloween, there will be a party for the kids to enjoy. Some people might think differently, but I personally prefer this sort of community. And as a result, I feel more proactive every day. I don't have any children yet, but I love that I can spend time with the other residents' children. I feel as though they're sharing their happiness with me, and I'm very grateful. So, I'll be introducing someone who is a significant part in today's story. This is Wakako Mabuchi. She lives next door to us. She's 4 years older than I am and is a housewife too. She lives with her husband, who's a doctor, and her 5-year-old daughter. She's usually a lovely person, and she's a leader type. In the beginning, I got on well with her, but one day, I invited several housewives to have tea at my place. It was a bank holiday, so my husband had the day off too. But he said he'd be going on a fishing trip and had left home the night before. Then, just when I thought we'd be finishing up,
I'm back! Look at this! I caught a lot!
my husband came back home in a good mood. I wasn't surprised. His cooler box was filled to the brim with fish. The other housewives were there too, so... Would you like to take some home with you? I don't think we can eat this much by ourselves. Are you sure? I'd love to. The ladies, Wakako included, were happy to be able to take some fresh fish home. But just a few hours later... Hey, what did you do? What happened? My daughter's had a bad reaction. Bad reaction? She became unwell, and we had to call an ambulance. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but... I'm really sorry to hear that, but why is that my fault? You don't understand? She became unwell because she ate the fish you gave us. You better hope it wasn't rotten. Of course it wasn't. My husband and I ate some, but nothing's happened to us. You're okay after eating it, aren't you? That doesn't matter. It was definitely the fish. You didn't poison it, did you? Of course I wouldn't do anything like that. Oh, shut up! I'm going over to yours, so let's talk things through. My daughter's frail enough as it is. What are you going to do if something happens to her? It seems that Wakako's daughter said that she fell unwell a while after eating the fish. And just as she had promised, Wakako turned up at her door. It's definitely because of the fish. You should pay the hospital bills and compensation. It could be possible that it was food poisoning. However, Wakako's husband had come with her, and according to the results, the cause was unknown. Their daughter had complained of a stomachache and had been swearing a lot, but it seemed like it wasn't food poisoning. That's why I had been a bit irritated and responded. The doctor is saying that the cause is unknown, right? Then please don't make assumptions like that when you don't have any proof. And I hope you're not serious about accusing of me of poisoning your daughter. I could sue you for defamation, you know? Like this, we began to argue. In the end, each of our husbands had to calm us down, and we finally gave up. But a while after this incident... Oh, Miss Yamada, hello. Oh, hello. A neighbor I had got on well with until now was taking a colder attitude towards me. I thought nothing of it, thinking that perhaps I had called out to them while they were in a bad mood. But the other housewives were obviously looking away when they saw me, and not inviting me to lunches I had been invited to before. They were all strangely distant. I didn't understand what was wrong, and was racking my brain over it when I happened to overhear a conversation from around a corner.
I heard that she gave out rotten fish.
Really? She doesn't seem like the type to do that. Well, Kako's rather wealthy. I guess she was jealous about that. How scary.
Let's stay away from that house.
No matter how you saw it, they were talking about me. It seems that they're thinking that I gave Wakako rotten fish on purpose because I was jealous of her. It wasn't that hard to work out who had spread the rumor. But the situation wouldn't improve if I tried to correct them. I knew that I would only have more to lose if I did. So, because of some wild allegations, I was avoided by all of the neighbors. It was a community with strong bonds, but if you looked at it from another perspective, it was a strong foundation for bullying. I was alienated by the other residents and ended up having to spend my days feeling uncomfortable and awkward. To be honest, the stress I was feeling was off the charts, and I felt depressed. Being considerate of my condition, my husband didn't even go out to fish and stayed by my side at home. He even said this.
You want to move house? It's not worth your mental health to keep on living here. I'll do my best and find a nicer house.
My husband offered me a solution, even though we both knew that we still had loans to pay off for the house. I can't make you do that. We still have to pay for this house.
No problem. I'm the one that brought the fish home in the first place. I don't want to see you suffer anymore.
He was my only ally. I felt that as long as my husband was with me, I was okay. So I began to think more positively about moving house. But we were contacted by someone I didn't expect.
Good evening. I'm sorry to contact you so suddenly. I'm Wakako's husband, Hiroki.
Good evening. How did you find out my phone number?
Do you remember we made a group chat when we had the Christmas party last year? We exchanged numbers then. I'm sorry for messaging you privately.
I don't mind, but can I ask why? If it's about the hospital bills and such, then I'll have to...
No, it's not that. It's not completely irrelevant, though.
What do you mean?
I know I'm being very rude, but could I speak to you in person? It's not suitable to talk about over line.
I don't mind, but... Hiroki was being very mysterious. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. I showed Mitsuru the conversation and...
It seems really serious. I'll sit in it as well.
And offered to stay with me. Wakako's husband came to visit, so we both listened to what he had to say. Hiroki's explanation was so horrific, it was enough to send chills down my spine. If it was true, then this wasn't just some simple neighborly trouble. When he had finished talking, he bowed his head towards us.
I'd really like your cooperation on this. Please!
We've already come this far. We might as well go all the way. My husband and I were determined to help with his request. Hello, do you have some time today?
What?
I spoke with my husband, and we decided that we'd like to apologize properly for what happened to your daughter.
Do you really think an apology will make everything better?
Of course not. We decided to pay for the hospital and pay the compensation you demand.
You finally understand. Fine, I'll visit tomorrow to collect it.
As part of the apology, I wonder if I could treat you to dinner at ours. I've ordered your favorite drinks, snacks, and some cake.
Oh, really? You shouldn't have.
No, it was the least I could do.
If you say so, I'll be looking forward to it.
She took the bait and came to our house the very next day.
I'm sorry you did this much for me.
No, I just wanted to apologize. Don't worry about it. Wakako was eating the food and drink I had prepared and seemed like she was in high spirits. I decided to make my first move here. Your daughter is really frail, isn't she? It must be tough. You're such a wonderful mother for always taking care of her.
Do you think so? I'm just doing what I think is normal.
I heard that she's in the hospital today, too.
Yes, she's got tests today and I can't stay with her. So I plan to go visit tomorrow early in the morning.
That's so tough on you. But I hope I can do the same when I have my own children. When I praised her for her parenting skills, her good mood got even better. It was just like I'd heard from her husband. I guess that this meant that it was pretty much decided. I forced myself not to shiver and continued talking. At 8 p.m., another guest came to visit us.
You look like you're having fun.
Huh? Honey, what are you doing here? I thought you were going to be late home today.
The second guest was Hiroki. His expression was fierce. It seemed that his prediction was correct.
Do you understand what you've done? You lowlife!
Hiroki yelled at Wakako in rage. I'm not surprised. The day Hiroki came to visit me and my husband, he told us this. Once, in the middle of the night, Hiroki got up to get a glass of water from the kitchen. He found Wakako standing there.
Were you up?
Oh, you scared me.
Wakako panicked when Hiroki called out to her. In her hand was a bottle filled with a liquid of some kind, and a pack of the milk that their daughter drank every morning. Hiroki asked her what she was doing, and she replied that she was mixing their daughter's medicine into the milk, since it was easier to drink that way. Wakako acted like nothing had happened, returned the milk to the fridge, and took the other bottle with her in the bedroom. Hiroki was a psychologist, and told us how he had gotten a bad feeling. The worst-case scenario played out in his mind was too chilling to bear. The name of the mental disorder was Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Munchausen syndrome is a disorder in which the patient takes medicine and poison, or even hurt themselves on purpose so that they can get treatment at hospital. The reason why they continue to self-harm varies in theories, but what separates it from risk-cutting is that they want to show off that they are sick. While they are being treated, patients receive attention from doctors, and someone is always focusing on them. That in turn becomes pleasurable for them, is one way of seeing it. It's difficult for other people to understand, but apparently there are a lot of mental patients that become obsessed with being treated by a doctor. However, Munchausen by proxy is the obsession of making someone else be seen by a doctor. For example, by making your own child take poison and making them unwell, you can show off that you're a wonderful mother that takes good care of your sickly child. Or you can gain attention as a pitiful mother who's having a tough time with raising her kids. Just as Wakako said, the only daughter of the Mabuchi household was very sickly. She often had a fever, and once a month her condition would worsen. So staying in hospital for a day for tests happened on a regular basis. But for every time she was hospitalized, their daughter would be returned home, with the test results showing that the cause was unknown. These results had bothered Hiroki. Once he saw Wakako acting suspiciously, it seems that he began to suspect that his daughter was a proxy. Just when the time was right, he asked for cooperation. Since we had been accused of causing their daughter's illness this time around while Wakako was invited to her house, Hiroki had gone home, and he'd been searching in his wife's things. He found the small bottle that he'd seen Wakako holding before. He had the contents tested for poisonous materials.
You were using real poison! If it was just a small amount, it wouldn't be fatal. It would only cause her to become unwell. Nobody would notice because they weren't searching for it. I don't even want to imagine how you got a hold of something like this.
Wakako, who had been caught out for her crimes,
No, that's not true.
had gone pale and was frightened.
You used that fish as an excuse, didn't you? You must have used much more poison than usual, which led to us having to call an ambulance. You covered it up by lying that it was because of the fish.
That's not true. That really was the fish.
Shut up! We didn't eat any of the fish we received that day. You put it all in the freezer. I had the fish checked too. and a small-sized portion had remnants of the same poison in that bottle. I bet you were planning to wait for another chance to feed her the fish and say that the fish was to blame after all, weren't you?
Why? Why would I do something like that? I worked so hard for up until now. I was a good mother. Why would I?
What you're doing is the complete opposite of a good mother. You've hurt your own daughter and trying to get satisfaction out of treating your hurt daughter. The one that needs treatment isn't our daughter, it's you.
After hearing Hiroki's words, Wakako fell to the ground in tears.
The police are waiting outside, so don't try to run away from what you've done. And don't you ever come near me or my daughter ever again!
So, Wakako was arrested. The rumors spread fast around the neighborhood, and the housewives that had outcast me came to apologize. However, I knew that if something were to ever happen again, that there was always a possibility of becoming alienated again. So I spoke with my husband and decided to move house. We still had a loan to pay. Because it was relatively new, we thought about renting it out. We found someone to move in right away, and we put the money made from the rent into paying off the loan. Until we save up more money, we'll have to live in an apartment. But we thought it'd be good to live together with no one to bother us again. We're still in touch with Hiroki, and it turns out that Wakako was charged with causing injury and was put behind bars. He was also able to get a divorce. However, Wakako was suffering from a mental disorder. Apparently, Hiroki would be watching over her treatment as a doctor. The problem was their daughter. She had always thought that her mom was taking care of her and was a kind mother, so she had mentioned several times that she wanted to see her mom. Hiroki had explained that her mother was unwell and couldn't see anyone. He had told her that they could see her when she got better. He planned to explain everything to their daughter after Wakako was treated, and if she still wanted to see her mom after knowing the truth, he said that he would arrange meetings.
Hiroki's too kind. If it were me, I would have never let a woman like that see my kids ever again.
That's true, but Hiroki's a doctor, and that's his profession. He must be seeing Wakako from a different perspective than us. Frankly, that incident became an unforgettable event for the both of us. It was still a possibility that I could become a parent like that if we ever had children. It was terrifying. Mitsuru felt the same way.
I've become scared of becoming a parent after seeing them like that. I wonder if I could be a good dad.
Do you want to see your child suffering from the poison you give them?
Of course not! You can't joke about that! Even if it wasn't my own child, I couldn't do that!
Then you're okay. I'm sure you'll become a good father. I don't want to hurt my own children either.
I'll do my best. But first, we need a house! A house! We learned our lesson about detached houses, so let's get an apartment next!
How about we take a walk around the areas that we're interested in? We might be able to take a better look at how the neighbors to get on too.
That's true. My next hobby will be to go on walks with my wife.
It'll be good for her health to walk too. We won't become like Wakako. I have to work harder as a human being to ensure that I can love my children properly when they're born.